It's like it was designed by a unicorn? We can make it happen. Need a radio commercial that's funnier than your grandpa's jokes? Well, we can't promise that, but we'll try our best. At Town Square Shreveport, we don't just create marketing campaigns, we create experiences that people will remember for years to come. So if you want to be the talk of the town, call us for your free business analysis at 318-688-1130. 318-688-1130. Town Square Shreveport. We're not just good, we're hilarious. Okay, maybe not hilarious, but we're definitely worth a shot.
The all-new Tiger Den at Jimmy Grande Outdoors is now open in the Shreveport Auto Mall. The Tiger Den is a superfan superstore. All your favorite team colors and apparel for women, men, and kids, even infants. Polo shirts from brands like Cutter and Buck, cool hats and caps, boots and belts, purses and jewelry. Oh, you are going to love the jewelry. The Tiger Den has everything for decorating and serving on game day, even custom game day t-shirts. The Tiger Den at Jimmy Grande Outdoors, a superfan superstore, now open in the Shreveport Auto Mall.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Tiger weather now.
Back to beautiful weather here for the Arklatex. Temperatures expected to be around 90 degrees each day here through the weekend and lingering into next week. Sunny skies, 90 today. Clear tonight, 67. Sunny tomorrow, 90. Near 90 on Sunday. Sunshine Monday. Sunny skies, high 90. Richard DeWetting at the Weather Channel.
KWKH and K277DO Shreveport, 103.3 FM and 1130 The Tiger. Your home for LSU sports, a Town Square Media station. The following program is paid for by Tim Fletcher. Good afternoon. It's the Patrick Netherton Show.
Voice of the Demons, right?
Yes.
Touchdown, Demons!
Brined, marinated, or dry rubbed, it's sports the way you like it.
Sports Center top 10 right there!
Talking to the biggest names, bringing you the best interviews.
He actually smokes his beans.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
The cooler is full, and the brisket is resting.
Just a nice little pull, and it comes right apart. That's perfect.
We eat ribs with this dude.
Here's your master of ceremonies, the Kansas City Barbecue Society certified expert.
Throw the fade, looking for Ferguson. Got it!
Patrick Netherton.
13-yard touchdown. Demons are back in it. And good afternoon. We welcome you in. It's the Patrick Netherton Show right here on 1130 The Tiger, and hopefully everyone can hear us. Yay! Rogers, big thanks to GeekCon Daddy for jumping in and fixing things. He sent a ticket in, and earlier today I was like, well, we to check blah 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 and this and that. Yeah. And I sent him a note and said, look, we're gonna have to do a workaround. We got Kim Mulkey joining us at 1:30 at the bottom of the hour, so we're gonna have to do a workaround to get her on the show. And it finally he was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go fix it myself. And apparently he did. Rogers, we're out on the radio. Everything seems okay so far. All right, we're doing okay. I'll take that as a yes. I have not had any text messages like, oh, no, you're not on the radio, anything like that, so that's good. I don't know what went down yesterday.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know what happened yesterday.
What happened is tonight they're trying something new for the Friday Football Frenzy and Bird.
Okay.
They're switching studios.
They're trying to do it in a different studio.
Yes.
Yeah, still going to be on
Which
Keel,
means
but out of a different studio.
The Friday Frenzy here in KW, but it's going to run on Keel.
Right, on
and
Keel,
the Bird game, which normally runs on KW, is going to be ran from the Keel studio on KW.
Right.
So when they reconfigured all that, something got deleted or unconnected to where it took away any ability for me to play anything through my board.
It's fun. Sounds like a great time.
Tonight's going to be tonight's even going to be more interesting because they weren't able to test the new system, and they're not going to be able to test it until it hits exactly 7 o'clock
until
when
it
the show
switches
starts.
over. Yeah.
And if it doesn't switch over, then we don't know.
Okay. Are you up
I
there
was
tonight for any of that, Rogers, or are you?
No,
okay.
next Friday I have
Friday
to do
is
it.
you. Okay.
But no, that's one reason yesterday caught us off guard is I didn't find out till we went live on the air with you that my end had been screwed up.
Yeah.
And that I could not only connect to you, anything that I would have normally played from this left computer no longer was sending me audio.
Yeah.
So I had nothing. And I had nothing this morning, and just a little while ago, I just happened to look up, and every now and then I would try to play a little cut from the left computer, and then finally I heard one of the cuts I was playing, and that's when I sent you a text. And I said, hey, man, let's test this clean feed. I think they may have been working on it.
Rogers, apparently Greg went in there and fixed it because he said he texted me and was like, yeah, I put in a ticket, because Town Square in Shreveport doesn't have an engineer, an on-site engineer anymore. And he texted me. He's like, I put in a ticket. I have no idea when it's going to get fixed. And I was like, okay, I've got to send you the Mulkey interview so that you can put it in the system so that we can play it because Rogers can't play it right off of YouTube like we normally would. And Greg was like, you know what? I'm just going to go fix this thing myself. And he texted me back like 10 minutes later, and he said, I think I got it fixed. And he said it's playing stuff, and I'm like, beautiful, well done. So big thank you to GeekCon Daddy for jumping in and making it happen. So we are back on the air, and it is a busy show today. Not only do we have Patrick's Picks and Moody's Moneymakers coming up at 2:20 in its normal time slot, we also have an interview with LSU women's basketball coach Kim Mulkey. She joined me yesterday. We recorded an interview yesterday, which is interesting because they then got a huge recruit commitment, which I'm pretty sure she wouldn't have been able to talk about anyway, because it's a commitment, not a signing. So I'm pretty sure she wouldn't have been able to talk about it anyway. But they got a big commit on the women's basketball side of things. But they're coming up to Shreveport, well, technically Bossier, at the SAC, at the Brookshire's Grocery Arena. They're playing Grambling there, and it is the, bring Michaela Williams home game. So much like Duke did with Elena Beard when they came to Shreveport and played at the Brookshire's Grocery Arena. At that point, it was the Century. I think it was still the CenturyLink Center, maybe then. or CenturyTel Center. I can't remember. I think it was CenturyTel Center back then. And Duke came and played Northwestern State at the CenturyTel Center to bring Elena Beard back home. So Mulkey wanting to get a game here. And by the way, she's had some interesting things to say about trying to schedule against Louisiana Tech. So there's some news in there. If you listen, you'll hear her talk about taking the team on the road. They played at Southeastern last year at the University Center in Hammond. They're kind of taking the show on the road, and she talked about wanting to play Louisiana Tech in Bossier, but why she won't play in Ruston. And I think you may want to listen for that. So some good stuff with Kim Mulkey, who was, and I asked her about the hurricane coming through. They actually ended up, she lost power at her house, and was doing the interview just sitting at home. Her generator had kicked in, and so she was just sitting at the house with her generator on, waiting for someone to come and fix some stuff that was, I think she had a gate that needed to be fixed, and so she was kind enough to take a little time. But yeah, the main thrust of it is tickets went on sale today. So if you're looking forward to that, it's December the 8th for Grambling and LSU women's basketball, the return of Michaela Williams to Bossier City. So definitely make sure you get your tickets for that, and we'd love to have you there. Rogers, needless to say, I got a lot of texts last night, as you might imagine. Northwestern State playing on the road at South Alabama in Mobile, and it ended up being a little not great. If you didn't see, South Alabama beat Northwestern State 87-10. It was 52-10 at halftime, I believe. And it never got any better from there, obviously. Demons gave up a punt return for touchdown. They gave up either a pick six or a fumble recovery return for touchdown. They turned it over multiple times, especially in that second half. And the game snowballed. Now, I posted a tweet and then deleted it. But I want to say it was 52 or 59-10, something like that. And the starting quarterback for South Alabama was on the field, and they were throwing. He threw a touchdown pass it was either to make it 59-10 or make it 66-10. I was not a fan of that. Rogers, you know me, you know how I feel about winning with class. I thought that was classless. No bones about it. I thought that was classless. You don't have your starting QB. I don't care what your scenario is, what your situation is. He didn't play last week, apparently. He's a freshman, all that stuff. I don't care, right? I don't care what your scenario is. You don't have your starting quarterback in and throwing up 52-10 or 59-10 or whatever it was at that point. Like, period. You just don't. I don't care what your scenario is at that point. If this is the NFL, whatever, man. You're all professionals. You're all getting paid. So be it. But this was an FBS FCS game. It was a bye game. You knew you were getting the win. There was no reason to rub that in. So I thought that was not a classy thing to do. Now the rest of the game, I thought they were fine. They didn't. They weren't trying to run the score up. There's a fine line between continuing to run your offense and really slowing it down. They went to a 6-minute fourth quarter. So, because it was already 80-10 at the end of the third quarter. So they went to the 6-minute fourth quarter. I didn't pay attention on if it was a running clock or not. I don't think it was. I think it was just a 6-minute quarter instead of a 15-minute quarter. It was not pretty. Blaine McCorkle after the game, took the loss on himself, said, look, I probably messed this up in the, back in the summer when we agreed to move this game to Thursday. after we had played a Saturday game. The first game of the season was a Thursday, but you'd had the entire off season to really, get ready for that game. Then you had a couple of extra days rest to play Prairie View A&M, close game, lost on a potential tush-push inside the one with no time on the clock. Then you turn around and you've got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then you're playing again. And Sunday is kind of a rest and recovery day. Monday you typically don't do much. Tuesday is, especially on a regular game week, Tuesday, Wednesday is usually the day you'll do your most physical work. And then you go, and then it becomes walkthroughs and mental reps and stuff the rest of the week. But with a really tough emotional loss on Saturday, turning around into a short week on the road against a team that had been, that was 0-2 and kind of embarrassed to be 0-2. They had not played well in Major Applewhite's first season. So that ended up being a bit of a motivating factor as well. Again, the only part that I found sort of classless, not sporting, was having your quarterback in up 52-10 or 59-10 or whatever it is, and you throw another touchdown. Like, you don't need to be throwing in that scenario. Like, you really don't. So they then pulled him after that, and that was fine. And they went to a 6-minute quarter in the fourth, and that was fine. But it was, there was a lot there. You worry about a team emotionally after something like that. You worry about Northwestern State, obviously, what they've been through. It is largely a new team, 3 starters back total. So it's one of those things. Then you turn around, by the way, and you've got one of the best teams in FCS coming to Natchitoches this weekend, or next weekend, I should say. This weekend is tomorrow. So it's a concern. Right? Kind of where's the mentality of the team after really getting beaten that bad? Also, Rogers, I'm going to venture to say, I don't know this, but I'm going to venture to say, and if you happen to know of a scenario that's different from what I'm talking about, I'd love to hear from you, Rogers. I'm going to guess there has not been a team in college football who has both scored 87 points and had 87 points scored on it. And that is the case for Northwestern State. The Demons played Southeastern Louisiana in their first year back with football. Hal Mumme was their head coach. And the Demons had 4 pick sixes. They ran the ball. And now, for talking about class, they were up 40-something to 10 or something like that at halftime. And Northwestern State attempted 1 pass in the second half. They ran it. Did nothing but run the clock. They ended up having 4 pick sixes, including a pick six by a third-string defensive end and a third-string safety. And obviously, you're not going to tell those guys to just go down. They deserve to play as well. So a third-string DN and a third-string safety both had pick sixes in that game. So I'm going to venture to guess that Northwestern State is the only team in America to have scored 87 points and to have had 87 points scored on them in their history. That's just a guess, but I'm guessing that's probably accurate. Also, since we're talking about the 4 pick sixes for NSU that led to the 87 points, I'm also guessing Northwestern State's, and I know this because I've looked at the record book. NSU is the only team in history in college football to have picked off 4 passes and returned them for touchdown in the same game, and had 4 passes picked off and returned for touchdown against them in the same game. Demons had 4 pick sixes against Southeastern Louisiana. They threw 4 pick sixes against Nichols. So kind of just a wild record book for Northwestern State. But yeah, it was a tough watch. Kudos to the guys. They weren't giving up. They were still fighting. They just got absolutely hammered. It was a combination of South Alabama having a great game plan. They ran the ball incredibly effectively, over I think 350 yards rushing. They threw the ball when they needed to, and NSU had basically a couple of big plays and struggled offensively other than that, and turned it over a bunch. Plus one punt return for touchdown that kind of set the tone. Demons got the ball first, went 3 and out, punted it. Kid returned it for a touchdown, and that kind of set the tone for the ball game. So, yeah, a rough one certainly for Northwestern State. But again, they now get a little extra time to lick the wounds a bit, heal the wounds, and then they turn around and face one of the top teams in all of FCS football in Weber State. So that will be coming up on Saturday. And Rogers, you may or may not know this, but that game can be seen on ESPN Plus next Saturday. I know I know you don't necessarily pay attention to what I got going on ESPN Plus, but excuse me, that game will be available on ESPN Plus. Let me look and see where Weber is in the rankings. Wow, are they unranked? The 25th in the coaches poll for the FCS, and that's the only poll they have. So, 25th in the coaches poll in the FCS. That's Weber State. So a terrific ball club coming into Natchitoches next Saturday, not this coming Saturday, but next Saturday. Okay, today's show, we've got Kim Mulkey coming up in about 12 minutes or so. She will join us to chat a little bit about bringing Michaela Williams back home to Bossier for a game on December the 8th. We'll talk about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, of course. We'll get into the why she doesn't play in Ruston. We'll talk about that, and a few other things to go as well. Matt just texted me and said they're 20 in the stats poll. So the media poll has them 20th, Weber State, and the coaches poll has them 25th. So that's who's coming into Natchitoches next Saturday. Yeah, we got into a lot of things with Mulkey, her team, the transfer portal, NIL stuff. We talk about Michaela Williams and her growth and development, and then we get into why it's important to have the game back here in Bossier for Michaela Williams. Again, tickets are on sale now for that game. You can find them in your normal spots. I think Ticketmaster, Shreveport Bossier Sports Commission has got a link for them. I'm sure there's a link on the LSU page as well. So get your tickets. It's going to be fun. Get to see Michaela Williams come back home and show out for the home folks, Grambling and LSU, over at the SAC at Brookshire's Grocery Arena. Then coming up at 2:20, so Kim Mulkey, that'll be at 1:30 at the bottom of the hour. And then coming up at 2:20, we'll have a chat with Tyler Moody for Patrick's Picks and Moody's Moneymakers. All right, Patrick Netherton Show, 1130 The Tiger, 103.3 FM. Rogers and Patrick, that's us. We're available in multiple streaming locations and a phone and text line. The phone line is the Pearl Shreveport hotline. Speaking of, I had the Pearl yesterday afternoon. I went for happy hour. Got to tell you all about that coming up in just a bit. It was, in a word, spectacular. The Pearl Shreveport hotline is 318-RALLY-45, 318-725-5945.
Hello.
Hey, Coach O. Coach O, tough night for the alma mater last night for Coach O, that's for sure. You can reach us on the Bobby L. Greene Plumbing text line. That number is 318-657-0HAM, 318-657-0426, also known as the Bobby L. Greene Plumbing text line. That's where you can send in your Pearl Upset specials. Chance to win a $50 gift certificate or gift card. By the way, I went and picked up a bevy of gift cards, so I'll be sending out the first 3 next week after we get our first, our third winner. I will go ahead and send out the first 3 gift cards coming up next week. So I went and grabbed them while I was eating at the Pearl. So send in your upset special for the $50 gift certificate to the Pearl. Send that over to the Bobby L. Greene Plumbing text line at 0426. We're available for streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and X. How do you get there? Facebook, you just look for Facebook and YouTube. You just search for the Patrick Netherton Show, Netherton Show, Patrick Netherton, Netherton. You'll find it. Go find us on Facebook or YouTube. Direct links, facebook.com/Netherton Show, youtube.com/@Netherton Show. We're also available on X if you want to check that out. It is @PT Netherton, @PT Netherton. And also make sure you go follow, like, subscribe to all of those accounts if you would like, please. We would greatly appreciate it. That helps our numbers out. We also have Rogers Hampton's Twitter, @HeyBoyRogers, if you want to go follow him. You can listen via the app. That's a good way to tune in, 1130 The Tiger. Search for that on Google Play or your iTunes App Store. And now the man, the myth, the legend, got us up and running, ladies and gentlemen. Rogers Hampton.
We represent the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, and in the name of the Lollipop Guild, we wish to welcome you to Munchkin Land.
Hey, boy! Hey, boy!
Hi, man.
Hello.
What's up, my dude?
Better than yesterday.
Yeah, you ain't lying. Well, I don't know, Rogers. Is it better than yesterday that you actually have to sit here and listen to me and
well, I still had to sit here and manually run Fox and play all the commercials for 2 hours, so it didn't give me any kind of a break.
So
it made it more stressful.
Better to listen to me or Cowherd/Gottlieb?
Didn't really care.
Thank you, Rogers.
Didn't really care either way.
Okay.
Because I was dealing with technical issues.
Yeah.
So was the issue I was dealing with. I was not listening to the subject content.
Right. I meant just in general. Would you rather listen to me or Cowherd/Gottlieb?
Well, I don't have to talk as much.
That's true.
With you.
That's true. And Rogers is very adept at ignoring whatever is on the air anyway.
Absolutely. Even while I'm live on the air.
Exactly. Like, you can't have stayed in this business that long if you can't tune out what's happening from time to time. You have
Speaking of tuning out, if you get any kind of a message, every now and then we're warbling. We seem to have some internet issues in the building.
Okay.
The TV here keeps freezing.
Okay.
And you warbled a couple times. So if you get a text or anything,
okay,
it's better now. But there was a little period there where you were warbling, and I looked up and the TV was frozen. So we're having a little bit of internet issue.
Yeah, everything's okay on my end. So that's.
But as far as people in the building, it shouldn't be too bad. There's 3 on this end and 1 on the other end, and that is it.
There you go. A quiet day in the office.
After yesterday, I'm appreciating it, to be honest.
Yeah,
with you.
And hey, again, kudos to GeekCon Daddy for stepping up and figuring it out, man. He rolled in and and the funny thing is, he texted me, and then Rogers, he texted me like 5 minutes later, it's fixed. And I'm like, dang, that was easy. And he was like, no, it wasn't easy. I was like, okay, well, it was just quick. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. I was like, yeah, you just.
That's because he's one of the few people that know where to go in the new system to try to fix that kind of stuff. The rest of us are just like, hey, this isn't working. We don't know why, and they won't give us permission to try to fix it.
And that's the main thing.
So,
you don't have permission to go in and try to fix it.
Yeah, and that's one reason that Puff is no longer involved with the Friday Football Frenzy is with the whole new equipment. He's not allowed to get in and run the board because he is at the corporate level now. So it's down to just two people that can work the Friday night shows, and they still have to kind of skirt us around the issue. So, and tonight's going to be very interesting because they are trying to switch stations and from other studios, which we were told all along you can do. But apparently when they were working on that yesterday, that's what cut off my audio in my room, to where I wasn't able to connect with you and wasn't able to play anything through Clean Feed. So we'll kind of just see how it goes.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least as of right now, it seems like everything's okay, which is good. Minus exactly. It is Friday the 13th, Rogers. So, I mean, that's appropriate. Imagine a man unable to communicate with another man via a computer. That's not how did he always button it, Rogers? That's not something. It's the Twilight Zone.
Yeah. Now you're in the Twilight Zone.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Kim Mulkey will join us next. We'll talk all about LSU women's basketball and them bringing Michaela Williams back home as they will play Grambling on December the 8th in Bossier City. We're off and running, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter/X. We are live on the radio, 1130 The Tiger, 103.3 FM. And also, if you're streaming, we got some new graphics for you. We did a little changing of the graphics. I think you'll enjoy it. We're going to hit a commercial. We'll come right back, and Kim Mulkey will join us next.
Hey LSU fans, I'm Tony Tagley. Join me Thursday night at 6 after Sports Talk with JJ and Bonsai Ben. We're talking Tiger football, presented in part by Carter Credit Union and Ray Ford. Ahead of the Brian Kelly Show, we'll talk 1 hour of LSU football, a game preview, the game day forecast, and your chance to win with the Dilla's Quesadillas trivia question. Talking Tiger football, Thursday night at 6 on the home of LSU Sports, 103.3 FM and 1130 The Tiger.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over.
Brought to you by Louisiana Highway Safety Commission.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you gotta hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F-words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Get down to business. Tell everyone nothing's off limits. You can have anything you want.
Anything you want with Bobby L. Greene Plumbing, now offering heating and air conditioning too. The Greene team for the best plumbing, heating, air, get it all. One team, 3 generations of local service. Bobby L. Greene, your home team, 6310235. We have it all.
You've heard a lot of remarkable things about the Pearl Restaurant, located at Fern and 70th. In addition to the incredible food and drinks, the Pearl is now open for dinner 7 days a week, plus lunch or brunch on the weekends. The bar opens at 3, the restaurant opens at 4 Monday through Thursday, and it opens at 11 a.m. all weekend long. Amazing Louisiana-style food with flavor profiles unlike anything you'll find in the state. A 47-foot bar serving signature cocktails, spirits, wine, wine, and beer. An unrivaled selection of both raw and cooked oysters. Plus, the Pearl is serving up amazing old-school favorites like burgers and certified Angus steaks, dry-aged and rubbed in their special Pearl dust. Both the burgers and steaks are Rogers Hampton approved, which is the most prestigious award that a food can receive. The Pearl Restaurant, 6871 Fern Avenue, right off East 70th. Whether you want an amazing lunch on the weekend or an elegant dinner any day of the week, the Pearl has you covered. Let them treat you right at the Pearl.
Restore me, refuel me, rejuvenate. RejuveMeMedical.com.
Shreveport Bossier's own Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl is set for December 28th, and iBowl Weekly is your road to the bowl. Tune in each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on 1130 The Tiger. Radiance Technologies iBowl tickets are on sale now, so get them while they're hot, and be right here each week for Inside the iBowl, Wednesdays 6 to 7 on 1130 The Tiger. Shreveport Bossier's own Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl is set for December 28th.
The all-new Tiger Den at Jimmy Grande Outdoors is now open in the Shreveport Auto Mall. The Tiger Den is a super fan superstore. All your favorite team colors and apparel for women, men, and kids, even infants. Polo shirts from brands like Cutter and Buck, cool hats and caps, boots and belts, purses and jewelry. Oh, you are going to love the jewelry. The Tiger Den has everything for decorating and serving on game day, even custom game day t-shirts. The Tiger Den at Jimmy Grande Outdoors, a super fan superstore, now open in the Shreveport Auto Mall.
Let's get to the meat of the matter with producer Rogers Hampton.
Hey, boy!
Here's your master of ceremonies, Patrick Netherton.
Right here at 1130 The Tiger, 103.3 FM, and streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, or X if you'd rather. We're pleased to welcome in now one of our favorite guests, had around after the national championship game, and came up to Shreveport and got one of the best basketball talents we've seen out of here in a long time. She is the national champion, Kim Mulkey from LSU women's basketball, joining us via the Pearl Shreveport hotline. Coach, number one, we recorded this interview yesterday, but I'm curious, the storm just came through, Hurricane Francine. Kind of give us an update. Everything okay in BR?
Actually, yes. Everything's good. I don't have power, but the generator is alive and kicking and keeping everything going in my house. I watch the storm. You sit in and you watch the wind, and I did not think that my area got hit very hard, but nonetheless, we will, like we always do in Louisiana, particularly in South Louisiana, we're resilient people. It's a way of life, and I appreciate everybody checking in on us, but all my players are accounted for, and we're good to go and get back on campus, ready to go this weekend. Now, there you go. You're it's basically time to rock and roll, and that's always an interesting time for me, Coach, because as someone who calls basically all the sports at Northwestern State, you're focused on your squad. I'm trying to focus on football, volleyball, also start to kind of figure out what men and women's basketball are up to. What's that like during this early period where the campus comes back alive? You got football going on. Like, that's got to be a lot of fun for you guys to kind of get them back in and ready to work. I tell you, it really is amazing to see Baton Rouge and the traffic in the summer. And you don't even have to look at a calendar. Just watch the traffic and how it becomes congested when school starts. And you have to remember there's 35,000+ students on this campus when school starts. And then you start football season and the tailgating and just the activity and the excitement. And if there's one thing people will learn about Baton Rouge and LSU is we love sports. We're passionate. Sometimes we're fanatical about it. And we love to eat and drink and be merry, and you see a lot of that going on once football season starts. This is one of the main reasons that we're having you on here during football season is because, as I mentioned, you came up to Shreveport and got one of the best talents that we've had in this area. I mean, I could argue going all the way back to Elena Beard. Michaela Williams has that kind of talent. Before we get into kind of her and her journey, let's talk about the idea of being able to bring her back home. December the 8th, you host Grambling up here in Bossier at Brookshire's Grocery Arena. How important is that for you to be able to allow these kids to get back and play sort of in their hometown?
Well, let me respond to Elena Beard. And Steve McDowell was her coach at Southwood, and they won 4 state championships when Elena was there. And I was at Louisiana Tech as an assistant at the time and tried to recruit her. And heartbroken, she went to Duke and had a great career. And you're exactly right. Michaela Williams is an unbelievable talent. Just so fortunate to be able to coach her. Her mom and her dad both played at Northwestern, and they get to come and see her play often. What an absolutely wonderful family. One grandparent is in Little Rock, Arkansas. The other grandparent is in Lake Charles. I just love them all. And we try, it's not always possible, but with scheduling, we do try to go back to the area where players come from. Now, it can't always happen because you have to agree on both ends. Each institution has to. But I wanted to play back in North Louisiana for Michaela. I would have loved to have played my alma mater, Louisiana Tech, there, but I couldn't get them to agree to it. So Grambling was just so excited, and we want to sell it out. And I watched LSU and Louisiana Tech men's basketball do it several years ago, and I thought it was just great for both institutions and for our state.
Yeah, it really is. It's a terrific showcase, and you know, I one of the things I really enjoy, Coach, notwithstanding that you've got someone from Bossier and an opportunity to play there, but I like the fact that you are willing to travel a little bit and play games away from home. Now, you're going to have a huge home slate, and you're going to host a lot of in-state schools that are going to be coming to Baton Rouge. But, you know, when Skip Burtman was the athletic director at LSU, he kind of put out the edict that, hey, we need to go out and be ambassadors, and we need to occasionally, you know, every other year go play at a southeastern Louisiana, which you did, or go play at a Northwestern State, or go play at a ULM, that kind of thing. What kind of give me an idea of why that you feel like that is important to take the show on the road on occasion and make sure that you're continuing to be the ambassadors, because look, LSU is the school in Louisiana, right? ULM's nice, Tulane's nice, ULL, all of those, that's great, but LSU is the Power 4 now school. So I'm curious why you feel like it is important to be able to get out and get on the road on occasion and take the team out.
When I took the job, I said, I'm not just coming back to help LSU. I want to help our state. And a part of helping our state is making sure all programs in women's basketball, or any sport for that matter, is good. And I just, scheduling is hard. Scheduling can make or break you if you just schedule people to be scheduling. You got to have a little plan. And I just thought, let's bring in some of our in-state schools to play on our home court. A lot of people want to, call those money games where you give them money. I have no problem doing that if it helps their budget.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not afraid to go on the road to play schools within our state if it helps them draw the largest crowd and it's where they can get money at the gate. I will tell you, the only school that I will not go on the road and play is my alma mater, Louisiana Tech.
Sure.
And the reason I won't, it is so emotional for me as a coach to go and try to win on the court where your blood, sweat, and tears for 19 years was poured into an institution and a program, and I can't let that go.
Right.
And so I won't ever go to Louisiana Tech and play. But I would love to have played them in Bossier in this game. I would love for them to come to Baton Rouge, but it's just something about my heart at that place, and I can't do it.
No, I mean, that's understandable. There's a lot of emotion involved with that. Talking to Kim Mulkey, head coach at LSU, as she joins us on the Pearl Shreveport hotline. Let's talk about Michaela Williams and kind of how she's progressed. I'll say this. I got to see her once in high school, and I remain impressed. You know, it seems like in today's metrics of basketball, it's layups or threes, and it doesn't feel like anyone has any feel for the mid-range game. And yet you watch the WNBA, and their MVP to come, Asia Wilson, is a mid-range beast, can just knock down every 15-footer imaginable. And I feel like Michaela Williams has that. I've never seen a player that's more comfortable at that mid-range. I'm curious about allowing her to play that way when I know you love inside play, you love post play. What is it about that mid-range game that is so comfortable for her?
Well, she's very, she's well-rounded. Michaela off the court is one of the kindest, happiest, just a genuine person. When she gets on that floor now, she throws all that to the side and she's trying to whip you if you're not on her team. And she has a game where she's a strongly built young lady that can take you off the dribble. And honestly, as a perimeter player, I'll post her if I need to, just because she's got a smaller person guarding her. Her mid-range is just something that she's developed through her progression in basketball. I know that she works on her three, and you better not leave her open out there either, because she can nail that as well. She just wants to be the best at everything she does on the floor. We're going to work extremely hard to develop her on the defensive end even more, because as a freshman, she'll tell you this, she got exposed somewhat by seniors last year, but it was good for her. It reminded her, hey, I have to keep working because I want to be that dominant defensive player as well. I would give her trainers back home in Bossier and Shreveport that developed her game. I certainly give it to the genes. Her mom and daddy, brought her into this world, and she's just been blessed with a lot of talent.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Coach, I'm curious, in today's portal realm, transfer portal, it feels like you have adapted as fast or faster than just about anyone else, and obviously Angel Reese is a perfect example of that. Tell me about adapting to what college basketball and what college athletics is today.
I had a conversation just recently with some coaches who are retired that are in my generation of coaches, my age, and they're like, Kim, you were able to adjust and adapt when the rest of us were not. And I took that as a compliment, and not that I've changed my ways and thoughts of thinking as a coach. I think you're always going to be a disciplinarian. I think I'm going to always be a hard-nosed, teach them defense, rebounding. What they were referring to is all the things that take place away from the court, the transfer portal, the NIL. I would venture to say probably every coach in America was scared of it, particularly the NIL when it was first started. And I just kind of observed and watched and realized this is not going away. It's here to stay. So you need to embrace it if you're going to continue to coach. And I did, but it didn't affect the way that I coach on the floor. Now, the transfer portal, in my opinion, is a lot more it's just tougher to adjust to the portal, because you never know from season to season what team you're going to have show up on that floor the next year. We're not talking about kids transferring anymore because they're not playing. We're talking about kids that just get bored with life, or a friend moves to another school, or all Americans are transferring. It has no rhyme or reason as to why kids transfer. It's just that they're allowed to do it, and they do it. And that makes it extremely difficult, because a lot of your preparation for a season begins in the summer with you thinking practice plans. What do I have? What type of offense do I need to do with these kids? You can't do that anymore because kids are transferring up to the last minute.
Well, and I'll say this, I think one of the advantages that you have built in And we saw this with Angel Reese and obviously see it with Livy Dunn over on the gymnastics side. It feels like LSU embraced the NIL landscape faster and better than almost any school in America. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. I mean, I remember when I was first hired at LSU, Livy Dunn was all over Times Square. It was LSU, NIL, LSU, all that stuff.
Right.
And it was smart. I can't tell you who gets credit for that, but I can tell you they embraced it. And, people have a misconception, I think, of the NIL. NIL, or maybe I should say this, they don't have a misconception. I think we need to clarify that people look at my program and think, okay, Angel Reese, she got this kind of money. Dunn's getting this kind of money. Flaget's getting this kind of money. Those kids are not getting that kind of money from LSU.
Right.
Those kids are getting that kind of money from national endorsements and businesses and people who want them under contract to promote their product. They get an amount from LSU, as all student athletes do, and
Right.
it comes from a collective. But those amounts are not coming from LSU. And I think sometimes in recruiting, I have to clarify that with parents and with recruits.
Yeah, I mean, the $1 million athletes are $1 million athletes because a brand wants to come and be a part of it. I mean, Livy Dunn's got Vuori or whatever, and Angel Reese had all kind of endorsements as well. Now Reese's Pieces, which is amazing. It's fantastic. Tell me about this year's team, Coach. Obviously, we know Reese lost her and Haley Van Lith, but kind of give us an idea of what this year's team is going to look like.
Well, we start practice officially on the 23rd, and if you ask me in a month after I've had them on the floor, I can
Right.
give you a better assessment. What I do know is we've got a lot of guards. We'll have a lot of depth at the guard spot, obviously with Michaela Williams coming back, Flage coming back, Poa coming back. And then you go to the post with Morrow coming back, and then Samaya Smith coming back from ACL tear, and then Aaliyah, my big girl, coming back. She had some surgery in the summer on cleaning up an ankle. We know what we have coming back. What we don't know is when you change their roles now, how they will respond. We have new players, transfers. We only had one high school signing, and Jada Richard out of Lafayette Christian. So we have the talent. It's just we've got to change our mindset now, particularly those returning players, on what their roles will be.
Last thing for you, Coach, and obviously appreciate your time, give me kind of where do you fall on the national talking points? It feels like the whole Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese thing has gotten so toxic and out of control, especially on social media. It doesn't feel like it's that way within the framework of the players or the WNBA. Like, they know how to handle it. They deal with this. But, kind of what is your sort of overall wide view take on everything that has gone on here over the last year or so when it comes to Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and just the talking and how women's basketball is being talked about right now?
Well, first of all, having played in that championship game, I thought those two young ladies and others, they didn't do it alone, brought wonderful, wonderful attention to women's basketball.
Absolutely.
And I do not believe in any way, shape, or form that they do not like each other. I think they respect each other because they've seen what, each other up and close and playing against each other. I think all of that toxic stuff is just what it is. It's social media is toxic, period. I mean, it's just toxic, and it's our world. We allow people the freedom to sit behind a computer or a phone and just throw out stuff that it either sticks or it doesn't stick, and half the time it's not true. Those two young ladies don't have issues with each other. Those two young ladies are competitors. I don't know of anything personal that either one of them has done to the other that would make them not respect each other. They were good for the WNBA. They came in at the same time in the WNBA. Look at the crowds, and I get the WNBA has been around, 25 years, and it had some great crowds, but what you didn't have then is it wasn't talked about year round. And and I just find that women's basketball is being talked about year-round, and you've got a fan base now that has never been this big. You're bringing people into the fan base that have not really ever cared about women's basketball. I don't care why they're following it. Just keep following it. It's
That's
good.
right. Well, and like I said from the beginning, Coach, maybe somebody comes to a game because of Caitlin Clark, but they leave a Kelsey Plum fan, right? Or maybe they come to the game because of Angel Reese, but they turn around and they really love what Sabrina Ionescu is doing, right? Like, that's what I love about this, is they can be great ambassadors for the sport and bring people in and maybe help build fandoms, not necessarily for themselves, but for other their own fan bases, right? You come out because the Fever are in town, or you come out because the Sky are in town, and maybe you become a fan of your hometown team because of that. And I love that idea, and I hope that it continues. I really do.
I agree with you. And if you talk about Clark and you talk about Angel, watch how they conduct themselves with the older players. They are constantly very just respectful of the older players. They know that they are rookies, and they know that they have things to learn about the game. What they've done is what I say, they've done their part, and the only part they could do right now, and that is bring fans to the game, and they've done that. They don't try to go in there and think that they're one of the, best players in the league or anything like that. They just go in as rookies and go, how can we contribute to make this league better? And I really love that about both of them.
Any chance that Prime Mulkey with the pigtails flying, any chance that Caitlin Clark would have kept her in front of her? I mean, there's no chance, right? You're blowing by Caitlin Clark those pigtails are flying right by her, and you're laying it up easy, right? Like, that can't be she can't guard you.
This game has evolved, and it's so good now. The athletes are just tremendous. Are you kidding me? I love picking on my own players when I'm coaching them and tell them things. You should have done this. I've gotten in front of you and taken a charge, stuff like that. But no, the game of basketball is simple. Find you a shooter, find you a ball handler, find you a rebounder. And if you can have those on your team, you stand a chance of winning a lot of games.
Yeah, and sometimes this day and age, they're the same person, which doesn't hurt either. That's for sure. Coach, obviously, we wish you the best of luck. Our training camp opening up. Grambling and LSU in Bossier City at the Brookshires Grocery Arena. That will be December the 8th. Tickets are on sale now, so make sure you get them. Where you can find tickets, go to lsusports.net and check it out. Get those tickets. Make sure we sell the place out. We want reasons for LSU to come back to Shreveport and Bossier in the future. And so, Coach, best of luck as camp opens up, and we look forward to catching back up with you soon.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's go, Tigers.
See store for details.
You've heard a lot of remarkable things about the Pearl Restaurant, located at Fern and 70th. In addition to the incredible food and drinks, the Pearl is now open for dinner 7 days a week, plus lunch or brunch on the weekends. The bar opens at 3, the restaurant opens at 4 Monday through Thursday, and it opens at 11 a.m. all weekend long. Amazing Louisiana-style food with flavor profiles unlike anything you'll find in the state. A 47-foot bar serving signature cocktails, spirits, wine, and beer. An unrivaled selection of both raw and cooked oysters. Plus, the Pearl is serving up amazing old-school favorites like burgers and certified Angus steaks, dry-aged and rubbed in their special pearl dust. Both the burgers and steaks are Rogers Hampton approved, which is the most prestigious award that a food can receive. The Pearl Restaurant, 6871 Fern Avenue, right off East 70th. Whether you want an amazing lunch on the weekend or an elegant dinner any day of the week, the Pearl has you covered. Let them treat you right at the Pearl.
Get down to business, tell everyone, nothing's off limits. You can have anything you want.
Anything you want with Bobby L. Greene Plumbing, now offering heating and air conditioning too.
Anything you want.
The Greene Team for the best plumbing, heating, air, get it all.
You can have anything you want.
One team, 3 generations of local service. Bobby L. Greene, your home team, 6310235. We have it all.
Restore me, refuel me, rejuvenate me. RejuveMeMedical.com.
KWKH and K277DO Shreveport, 103.3 FM and 1130 The Tiger. Bossier City's home for LSU sports, a Town Square Media station.
A good time is in the air. It's the Patrick Netherton Show.
The cult of personality. I know your anger, I know your dreams. I've been everything you wanna be. Oh, I'm the cult of personality. Like Mussolini and Kennedy. I'm the cult of personality.
My God, it's CM Punk's music. Welcome back, everybody. It's the Patrick Netherton Show, 1130 The Tiger, 103.3 FM. Rogers and Patrick, that's us. Hope everyone is having themselves a wonderful day. Speaking of wonderful day, yesterday, I said, you know what? I need to pick up my gift cards from the Pearl for the Upset Special. And you know what? I'm just going to go have myself, I'm going to go over during the 3 to 5 happy hour, and I'm going to check out some half-price appetizers. And let me tell you something, Rogers. Rogers, are you a cornbread guy by any chance? I'm just curious. I don't know that I've ever seen you.
If it's plain.
Like just nothing to it or whatever?
Like I don't need jalapeno cornbread or anything like that.
Right. Rogers, I'm telling you right now, they have a cornbread appetizer at the Pearl. It's some of the best I've ever eaten. Now, I will tell you, if you're a cornbread traditionalist, you may not like it because, when I think of cornbread, I think of the, it's like the grain. I don't know how to properly describe it. Like cornbread is kind of airy, right? Like it has a lot of pockets of air. It's real crumbly like that, that consistency. Well, the cornbread at the Pearl is more the consistency of almost cake. Like it's a little more dense, but it's really smooth and fluffy. But it is so good. It's got a really nice little sweetness to it. It's woo. Let me tell you something. And by the way, it's a little skillet of cornbread. It comes with a chipotle butter that you can use, which adds a little bit of that kick to it if you like, or they'll just bring you some regular butter, which is what I had them do, and just dip that thing in that regular butter. It was amazing. And from 3 to 5 with the half price appetizers, it was $5 for a big. I mean, it was a thing of cornbread that I don't think I would have eaten on my own. I took my mom with me, and she helped me out with it. It was delicious. We had the boudin dip, which was incredible, half off. We had the cornbread. Again, that cornbread, amazing. I had not had it before, not tried it before, but it was fantastic. Then it came time for our food. I went with shrimp and grits, which I had not had from there before. They were phenomenal. Had that New Orleans barbecue sauce, if you will, that like red tangy barbecue sauce. That was great. I say barbecue sauce. It's not really a barbecue sauce, but the shrimp, good portion of shrimp in there too. They didn't slight me on the shrimp. They were just the right consistency, had that right chew to them. Grits were fabulous, and Rogers, you'll appreciate. My mom got the burger, the cheeseburger, which she loved, absolutely loved. So you can't go wrong. Also, the fries that came with it were really good too. We ate so much we couldn't do dessert. I would have done dessert, but we couldn't. And I picked up my gift cards. So we've got our gift cards. We'll be sending our first 3 Pearl Upset Special gift cards out coming next week after we name the winner for this week's. We had JB2 in week 1, Gloria in week 2, and then whoever wins in this week. But I'm telling you, man, get to the Pearl between 3 and 5. 4 o'clock's when they really start food. So get there between 3 and 5. Get those half-price appetizers. The table next to us did a couple of half-price appetizers. They did some oysters, and they did an entree. And I know they were full. They took a bunch home. There was a big box that they took with them on their way home. But we absolutely killed it. It was fantastic. So get by the Pearl. They're open for lunch on the weekends, open for dinner every day of the week. And again, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 5. You don't want to miss it. I promise you. Half price appetizers, fabulous. That cornbread alone for $5 for a little skillet of cornbread. Ooh. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. So go check them out at the Pearl, 70th and Fern Avenue, the white brick and building with the black awnings right across from Sports Spectrum. They are absolutely insane with the food that they put out for you. So go check them out. And obviously when you go, whether you're JB2 or Gloria, who are going to be able to take their Pearl gift cards in there and get their first $50 for free, or if you're just a regular paying customer going in there, please let them know you heard about it on the Patrick Netherton Show. That helps us out, right? That lets them know that, lets Robert know that their money is being well spent with us here at Fletcher Industries. So please let them know you heard about it on the Patrick Netherton Show and get yourself an incredible meal. We were blown away by how good it was. I wanted to try some different things. I knew the boudin dip was going to be good. I already knew that. I had not had the cornbread. I tried Mom's Burger. I had not had that. It was fabulous. And I had not had the shrimp and grits before. So we were trying some new stuff, and it was in no way disappointing. It exceeded all expectations. That's what you got going on at the Pearl. Fern and 70th right there, the white and brick building with the black awnings. Go see them and tell them you heard about it right here on the Patrick Netherton Show. And don't forget to send in your picks for the Two Johns upset. See, I knew I was going to do that, Rogers. Don't forget to send in your picks for the Pearl Upset Special. The Pearl Upset Special, a $50 gift certificate to the Pearl. All you have to do is text us with the biggest underdog that you believe will win outright. Biggest underdog you think will win outright. Send that to us on the Bobby L. Greene Plumbing text line at 318-657-0HAM, 318-657-0426. And you will have an opportunity to win a $50 gift certificate to the Pearl in Shreveport. Hambone, I thought pretty interesting comments from Mulkey, basically saying there's too much emotion tied up at Louisiana Tech. Her 19 years there, and she said she will not play at Louisiana Tech. Wanted to get Tech to play them in Bossier, but it didn't work out. But I thought it was interesting that she said she would not play at Tech. She's played at Southeastern. They'll go around and kind of have, do a little bit of the traveling circus, if you will. But she's not playing in Ruston, and I understand it. I think the subtext in there may be how that all ended when she was a coach, and obviously we understand that, right? You kind of understand there was a little bit more to the ending of her tenure when she was trying to be the head coach for a long-term. They wouldn't give her a long enough term deal. Archie on the YouTube channel said, keep up the excellent work you do. Thank you, Archie. Appreciate that. Watching us over on YouTube. Again, you can watch the show on YouTube, Facebook, or X. YouTube and Facebook are Patrick Netherton Show. X is at PT Netherton. Let me see. I'm trying to get trying to get to some texts, but there's obviously a lot of upset special picks. Jeff said, Patrick, I want to talk all Demons all the time today. I missed the game and would love to hear the breakdown of what I hope was a nail biter at South Alabama. Yeah, and if by nail biter you mean you literally bit nails that you hammer into a wall, that was a tough one, man. It really was. And look, it's the Sickos committee kind of had said it best. They were like, look, let's, it's a bad loss. Don't pile on Northwestern State. They've had a lot to deal with over the last year. And the Sickos committee, normally, one of the most irreverent Twitter feeds out there, they're absolutely right. There were a lot of people piling on. It's not, Northwestern State is a program that is trying to rebuild after an unthinkable tragedy and how their season was lost. And no, that doesn't, no one's going to take it easy on them because of that, or at least no one on the field is going to take it easy on them because of that. But I would hope that there would be some grace in the social media realm. And I don't know why I'm saying that. It's social media. There's no grace out there. There's very little grace out there. But I would hope people, before you would pile on Northwestern State, that maybe you would take some time to understand that this is a program that kind of hit rock bottom, and a guy just was to some degree brave enough to come in and take that on. And it's a program that is half newcomers and half returners. You only had basically 3 starters come back. So, it's a tough one, man. And look, I firmly believe they're going to get a win at some point this season. I think they're good enough to do that. The Prairie View game showed that they certainly can hang, but it's going to take time. This is not an overnight thing. It may take 2 years, 3 years to get this completely turned around. And the good news with Blaine McCorkle is he's shown he can do that. He took over a Belhaven program that was a mess. They didn't do a lot of winning in their first couple of years, and then he turned around, and I think he was 25-7 over his last 2 years and won a conference championship and made it to the playoffs. So it can be done. Blaine McCorkle has accomplished this before. It's just a matter of the length of time that it may take. Demon alum said, is the current NSU football team a complete rebuild, or are there some returning players? Like I said, it's about half and half new and returning players. It's like 53, 54 of each, something like that. And it's pretty much a complete rebuild. You got 3 starters that are back with 3 starters that are back, total. You've got a couple of backs that are back. You've got a couple of receivers that are back but didn't play a ton last year. You've got you got 1 offensive lineman that's back. You've got 1 defensive lineman. I'm talking about kind of starters here. Your left tackle started last year. Your D tackle started last year. None of the receivers were starters last year, but they did play. Let's see. At least of the returners. You had 1 running back that played but wasn't necessarily a starter. He was in the mix there. Your quarterback's not a returning starter, though he did play 1 game last year. You got a corner that is a returning starter. However, he injured his foot ankle, got his foot or ankle rolled up against South Alabama last night. So I don't know what his prognosis is. It looked rough, at least in the moment. And that's about it. So, yeah, like 2 defensive guys and maybe 1 offensive player that are actual starters that returned. So it's not a complete rebuild, but it's not far from it. You know, it's not like UT Rio Grande Valley, who never had a football program, and you're starting it from scratch, or Southeastern when Northwestern State beat them 87-27. It's not like that, where they're bringing their program back from oblivion, basically. Let's see. Draco said Shannon Sharp posting his private life. Yeah, that was a rough one, man. Look, kudos to Shannon Sharp for having a private life. He came back out and said, "Look, I'm a man. I'm going about it. Nothing about it was, she wasn't underage. It didn't seem non-consensual. Like, everything seemed above board. It just happened to be that they were, they were on Instagram Live. The funniest part about that Instagram Live was R-Truth from the WWE just doing like a running commentary of it. He saw it was on, he jumped in there, and he just did a running commentary of it, and it was hilarious. R-Truth remains the best thing in WWE. There's no doubt in my mind. Marco said, another fantastic interview with Coach Mulkey. And hey, Patrick, can you go over the last Pearl picks? I seem to have missed them, and you guys weren't on the air yesterday. Who won and how many chose the correct upset? Marco, it was one winner. It was Gloria, all on her own. She correctly picked Northern Illinois to beat Notre Dame as a 28-point underdog. So she won it all by herself. There were ultimately, I believe, let me look back, there were, I think, 13 people correctly predicted upsets. St. Francis at 17.5, ULM at 11, BYU at 12. Those were some of the picks. Butler at 7.5, but ultimately it was Gloria picking Northern Illinois to beat Notre Dame. That was the winner of the Pearl Upset Special. And like I said, I just picked up the gift cards last night, so I'm going to send out the first batch of gift cards coming up next week after we name the winner of Week 3. And again, send in your picks on the Bobby L. Greene Plumbing text line, 318-6570-HAM, 318-657-0426. Draco said, I wonder why that doesn't happen to you. Well, Draco, number one, I don't really do Instagram Live, so my phone would not do that on its own. And number two, there's not really that kind of action going on in my life. So if it did post, it would likely just be television in the background and me just lying in bed playing Call of Duty Mobile with my friends. You'd hear a lot of, hey, there's a sniper over there on that building at 210. Watch out, we got a vehicle coming back from behind us. There'd be a lot of that. Anybody need heavy ammo, or anybody got heavy ammo? Go here to pick up my dog tags. Like that's what you would hear if I went Instagram Live, because that's what I do in the evenings is play Call of Duty Mobile with my boys. There's no illicit action going on in this room, I can assure you. So send in your upset special picks on the Bobby L. Greene Plumbing text line. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back, and we got to get Tyler Moody in here. It's time for Patrick's Picks and Moody's Moneymakers. That's right, Tyler Moody will join us. Moody went 3-3-1 last week. I went 3-4 last week. And we'll try to pick you some winners. The games we have to pick: Saints, Cowboys facing off against each other, and LSU at South Carolina. And then we got 5 wild cards this week because Saints and Cowboys are playing each other, so they're not separate picks. Take a break. Tyler Moody next on the Patrick Netherton Show.
Mama told me when I was young. sat beside me, my only son.
The all-new Tiger Den at Jimmy Grande Outdoors is now open in the Shreveport Auto Mall. The Tiger Den is a super fan superstore. All your favorite team colors and apparel for women, men, and kids, even infants. Polo shirts from brands like Cutter and Buck, cool hats and caps, boots and belts, purses and jewelry. Oh, you are going to love the jewelry. The Tiger Den has everything for decorating and serving on game day, even custom game day t-shirts. The Tiger Den at Jimmy Grande Outdoors, a super fan superstore, now open in the Shreveport Auto Mall.
Want to win big with Jimmy Grande Outdoors Tiger Den? We've got your chance. Just stop by and register in person or download the 11:30 a.m. The Tiger app for your chance to win tickets to each LSU home game this season. You'll also score with gas money and road snack money, plus a pair of game day shirts from the Tiger Den. All roads lead to LSU. From Jimmy Grande Outdoors Tiger Den and 11:30 a.m. The Tiger, where you can hear every LSU football game and all that is LSU. Go Tigers!
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard. Aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. A letter in your mailbox says you could save money bundling your home and auto insurance with Progressive. Bad news. You saw it after your teenager backed the car into the mailbox. Dumb news. A new mailbox, basically a box on a stick, costs up to $400. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and go with paperless mail instead. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
You've heard a lot of remarkable things about the Pearl Restaurant, located at Fern and 70th. In addition to the incredible food and drinks, the Pearl is now open for dinner 7 days a week, plus lunch or brunch on the weekends. The bar opens at 3, the restaurant opens at 4 Monday through Thursday, and it opens at 11 a.m. all weekend long. Amazing Louisiana-style food with flavor profiles unlike anything you'll find in the state. A 47-foot bar serving signature cocktails, spirits, wine, and beer. An unrivaled selection of both raw and cooked oysters. Plus, the Pearl is serving up amazing old-school favorites like burgers and certified Angus steaks, dry-aged and rubbed in their special pearl dust. Both the burgers and steaks are Rogers Hampton approved, which is the most prestigious award that a food can receive. The Pearl Restaurant, 6871 Fern Avenue, right off East 70th. Whether you want an amazing lunch on the weekend or an elegant dinner any day of the week, the Pearl has you covered. Let them treat you right at the Pearl.
Get down to business, tell everyone, nothing's off limits, you can have anything you want.
Anything you want with Bobby L. Greene Plumbing, now offering heating and air conditioning too. The Greene team for the best plumbing, heating, air, get it all.
You can have anything you want.
One team, 3 generations of local service. Bobby L. Greene, your home team, 6310235. We have it all.
Restore me, refuel me, rejuvenate me. RejuveMeMedical.com.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over.
Brought to you by Louisiana Highway Safety Commission.
Welcome back to the Patrick Netherton Show.
Patrick Netherton Show, 1130 The Tiger, 103.3 FM. That's us. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. We are back. And Rogers, we good to go? We got our man lined up and ready to roll, I hope? Question mark? Maybe answering the phone right now. There we go. Yeah, you know. You know when the applause hits, that's what it means. It means it is time for Patrick's Picks and Moody's Moneymakers with the man, the myth, the legend, Tyler Moody. What is up, my friend?
Hey, what's up, brother? How we doing today?
You know, if I was any better, I would have scored 87 points last night, I think. That was
Oh, man.
Hey, here's the crazy thing, Moody.
Yeah,
here's a
that's
stat
crazy.
here's a stat for you that and I mentioned this earlier in the show. And you can I'll ask it as a question, and you tell me if you think anyone else has done this. Do you believe any other team in America has scored 87 points in a game and had 87 points scored on them in a game in their history?
No, not really.
Yeah,
no,
I can't
I'm
imagine,
I'm
right?
assuming, yeah, that's crazy.
The only one I could think of would be Houston, because back in the run and shoot days, I mean, they score like 91 or 93 or whatever it was back in the run and shoot days with Andre Ware, when they were running the score up on people. So I feel like maybe when they were really down, they might, but I can't fathom the idea or concept. And Northwestern State has both scored 87 points in a game and had 87 points scored on them in a game. Like, how wild is that?
That's incredible.
It's an insane stat.
I'll tell you what. I'm actually disappointed in South Alabama that they did not score 100. Like, you're that close to 100 points. You go ahead and play the 15-minute fourth quarter.
You already know where I fall.
You win
this,
the game.
Maybe. You know where I fall.
Yeah,
on
your
this.
take. It's your worst take. It's by far your worst take. I saw your tweet where you were saying, why are they throwing the football in the third quarter, Patrick?
Up 59 to 10. Here's the thing. If it's their backup, right, and you're trying to get him some work and you're throwing stuff, that's one thing. Like, I can stomach that. But your starter's in there up 59 to 10 and you're throwing the football. Like, no, that's not okay. That's not a classy way to go about that.
There was like 10 minutes left in the third quarter.
I don't care. It's 59 to 10.
Yeah, I do.
I don't.
Then don't give up 59 points.
I 100% agree with you. Like, stop them. Like, you have to stop them. But it's also incumbent upon you. If this is in the pro ranks, like if this was New Orleans and Carolina last week, then go score 100 if you can, New Orleans. Everybody's professional, right? There's no tiers in the NFL, but there are tiers in college football. If they had done that against Panhandle State, would you say the same thing?
They did it against Panhandle State. Let's be honest here. I feel no differently. No, I have no problem with them scoring 87. The only problem I have with them scoring 87 is that they didn't score 100. I'll be honest with you.
If they had scored 100, then I would have called for the firing of Major Applewhite immediately. Just like that guy in that high school game where they beat somebody like 140-4 or something. You can't, like, you have to at some point instill. And look, I'll say this, right? I was upset that they were throwing with their starter up 59 to 10, but they did the right thing after that. Right after they pulled the starter, they ran it a lot. They were running the clock out to to under 5 on the play clock. They shortened the fourth quarter to 6 minutes. Like, they did everything right. So that's why I deleted the tweet, because it's.
Oh, you deleted it?
Yeah, I deleted it
because
because
they threw the ball like 18 times in the whole game.
Right? No, I'm saying, like, after that was the part that I was like, that's classless, right? And then once it continued to get out of hand, they did the right thing. They pulled their starters. They ran the ball. They ran the clock. They put the 6 minutes on the clock. All of that stuff. Like, they did the classy thing at the end. And but again, had they gone out trying to score 100 points, like, I think they should have fired him on the spot. Like, do you want that guy representing your university and teaching your kids that when you're playing a lesser opponent that doesn't have the same resources that you do, and you have them down, and they're coming off of a season that they came off of last year, that you should just inflict as much pain and misery on that person, that team, as you possibly can? No, that's not the lesson. Like, again, if this is pros, whatever. Y'all are all getting paid.
Well,
Go
these
get
kids
you
are getting paid now. That's one thing we do need to remember. These kids get scholarships. They're getting paid. It's a little bit different different in the college ranks now, too.
Yes,
I have no problem with it. This is one place where we totally disagree.
Yes, we do.
I have no problem with it. If they would have scored 100, it would have been a very cool story.
And hey, guys, speaking of adding to the story, have you just seen the release?
I have
All
not.
betting odds have been voided.
For that game?
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Because they changed the rules. They didn't play enough time. All sports bets have been voided from that game.
Oh, look.
Just came out on one of the websites I was looking at, fellas.
Moody, I'm going to go with Vegas. The books lost their ass.
Yes, 100%. No doubt about it.
And they're like, hey, we found a loophole. We found a loophole, guys.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they lost their ass because I don't think there was a ton of people betting
I'm
South
sure
Alabama,
not.
Northwestern State. But without question, most teams that had this probably had it South Alabama to cover.
Right.
And, so, yeah, Vegas definitely lost more than they won. They made this decision. Vegas has done this. We've seen this with injuries in the NFL. Sometimes they'll void a bet. Sometimes they won't. It's kind of, they pick and choose occasionally. I don't blame them for voiding these bets, though, because the rules changed. I mean, you took 9 minutes off the clock. Did it impact any of those tickets? Probably not.
Here's my favorite part.
I get it.
The ESPN app, and I think I sent you this, the ESPN app at 80-10 and at 87-10 had South Alabama's win probability at 99.9%. Like what? How? Like would the team forfeit for some reason? Like how would you possibly have an 87-10 game that is not a 100% win probability? I don't get that. Like I understand. I don't know. Were they going to score 77 points in the 6-minute fourth quarter? Like that's mind-boggling.
That's where AI lacks logic, right? Yeah, that's obviously AI that's doing that win probability, and it lacks logic. It's one thing that's very interesting about some of this AI stuff.
Yeah,
but that's neither here nor there.
Speaking of, by the way, you and I called the Northwestern State Prairie View A&M game last week, and it came down to one play inside the 1-yard line, no time on the clock. If Northwestern gets in, they tie it, extra point to win. If they don't, Prairie View walks off with a win. Prairie View stopped Northwestern State, and it's very easy to see that Prairie View's releases, their game stories and their preview stories are written by AI. Moody, nowhere in the game recap did it mention that there was a play from inside the 1-yard line with no time left on the clock to potentially win it or lose it.
That's rough. As far as I could understand letting AI write a decent portion of your release because, who really wants to write that? But you got to make sure that you get the important parts in there. So go back in and edit it yourself.
I'm pretty sure the lead should have been something about, hey, Prairie View A&M stopped Northwestern State inside the 1 with no time left on the clock to preserve a 37-31 victory. Like, I'm pretty sure that's the lead.
Goal line stand, wins the game for the Panthers.
Right.
Something that simple.
I'm pretty sure that's the lead. Like, I think that is.
Yeah.
All right, Moody, let's get you what you're here for. A little betting. Give us Patrick's picks and Moody's Moneymakers. Last week, I went 3-4. I won all of our compulsory bets. I had Nichols plus 48.5 against LSU. Had Saints -4 against the Panthers. Had Cowboys plus 2.5 at the Browns. Moody split. Actually went 1-2 on those. But Moody, you're doing pretty well on the NFL bets so far this season, my friend. Things are looking good for you.
Yeah, 5-2-1, I believe. And I was on the right side of that Rams game. I had Rams plus 4.5. I felt great about it down the stretch, and then somehow they end up losing that game by a touchdown in overtime. That was a brutal loss. One of the worst that I've taken recently, to be honest.
I would love to see, and this will never happen, but to me, I think if you go to overtime, I don't think whatever the final margin is in overtime should matter. Like, you got to overtime. You know, like if you give up a touchdown in overtime, so be it, but you got to overtime. So for me, Rams plus 4.5 should have won because the Rams covered 4.5 in regulation. They got to overtime.
Mm-hmm.
It just, so for me, an underdog should always win if the game goes to OT, period. Like, you got the game to OT. You did your job. You covered the spread. Whatever happens in OT is fine. The scoring margin at that point doesn't matter. So that's just my 2 cents. It'll never happen.
No, it'll never happen. I don't disagree with you completely right there, but Vegas definitely does.
Oh yeah, no, it'll never happen. Much like you should win with class, Tyler Moody. We all know that. All right, so Moody went 3-3-1 last week. I went 3-4 last week. Moody is now 7-6-1, and I am 6-8. All right, we only have 2 compulsory picks this week because 2 of the teams are playing each other, Cowboys and Saints. So we have 5 wild card picks this week, which is bad for me so far this year, but maybe good for Moody. All right, Moody. So let's start with LSU. LSU on the road at South Carolina, 11 a.m. game. Those are games that at home LSU typically struggles with, but they have been pretty good in 11 a.m. games under Brian Kelly so far. It seems like he's, excuse me. Man.
Hello?
Sorry about that. No, I was just coughing. Sorry. I was cutting my mic off while I coughed.
Okay.
I didn't want to cough right in your ear, Moody. I'm a polite human. Unlike a coach who would willingly try to score 100 on a mismatched opponent. Like I'm a cordial, considerate human being. Okay.
All right. Well, one thing I find interesting about this game, it opened up at 8.5. LSU is the favorite here. It's moved all the way down to 6, is what I'm seeing right now.
6 is where we are right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it was at 6.5 like 45 minutes ago, and it's now moved down to 6.
Yeah.
Money continues to come in on South Carolina here. Understandably so, LSU has not looked good the first 2 weeks. I am in no way, shape, or form a believer in South Carolina either, but I'm just going to take the points here. I would prefer it at 8.5, but I'm going to take it at 6. I don't have a lot of confidence in either one of these teams. LSU has not looked good yet. I expect this to be a somewhat lower scoring game, actually.
Yeah, I'm with you, Moody. I have exactly the same reasoning. It's plus 11 a.m. On the road. I think South Carolina is going to be up because they've had a couple of good wins, and certainly the win over Kentucky was somewhat surprising the way they dominated. I think LSU wins. I think it's close. I will be very interested to see if LSU can run it at all. They have not so far in the first few games, even against Nichols. So I will be legitimately curious to see if they can find a way to run the ball. I will say the one thing I like that Brian Kelly said this week was, hey guys, we're not going to just run the ball for the sake of running the ball. Like if they're dropping their safeties and it's an 8-man box, a 9-man box, we're not going to run the ball just to prove how tough we are. We're going to throw it when the advantage is there, and then if we can run it, we will. So I like that thought process. I don't think you should run it just for the sake of running it. So I like LSU to win, but I like it close. So I'm kind of with you on that one, my friend.
When it comes to the X's and O's, Brian Kelly is the real deal. There's no doubt about it. I think the game plans he puts in, like he's a legitimate coach. I just don't think the players buy into him as a man and as a leader. And that's and the fact that he doesn't have, the elite recruits that LSU normally has on the defensive side of the football kind of shows that people just the players, these young players, this the new type of athlete that you have that's in this TikTok world and all this stuff. I just don't think they buy into who Brian Kelly is. So I don't know that you're ever going to see LSU fully buy into his game plan, even if he is right on the X's and O's side. Because I think he's a great coach. I just don't know that he's a great leader. But time will tell.
Yeah, and he's a little goofy. There's some of that. Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of that goofiness going on. All right, let's talk our other mandatory pick: Saints at Cowboys. This game has also moved, by the way. I had it at 6.5 earlier. Yep. It is now down to 6. Cowboys are favored at home in the, as I like to call it, Jonestown, because everyone drinks the Kool-Aid, and every year in the playoffs they die. So I'm a heavy lean Saints here, Moody. Everyone is picking the Cowboys. I have not seen anyone in the national media yet who has picked the Saints in this game, despite talking about how well they played in the first game. What do we know about Carolina? How much of that was good Saints versus bad Carolina? What do we really know about Cleveland? How much of that was
was, bad Browns and good Cal. I don't know. I don't know what we know, but I know I'm taking the Saints +6 in this game. Don't know if they'll win, but I think they'll cover.
The Cowboys have not lost a regular season home game in almost 2 years now. They've won 16 straight. The last person to beat them was Tom Brady back on September 11th, 2022. So it's been a while since the Cowboys have lost at home. I do not think Dallas starts this week by losing to the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to take the Cowboys to cover the 6.
Okay.
I don't necessarily love it because I liked what I saw from the Saints in week 1. But you can't tell me that the Saints offense is that much better than Cleveland's. I mean, they're not that much better. They beat up on a bad Carolina team in week 1, which they should have done. I think this will be somewhat close, but I think Dallas pulls away because they're just too complete as a team right now, and they're so dang good in Jerrytown. I think Dallas covers the 6, but it should be a competitive game for a bit.
Now, Jonestown, brother, just embrace it. Embrace it. Everyone drinks the Kool-Aid, and come playoff time, they all die.
I like it. No, it's spot on.
No, it's reality in Dallas. That's what they do. Yeah. They follow their leader, Jerry Jones, not to be confused with Jim Jones, Jim Jones. It the only thing that kind of gives me pause on this is this again. It's Carolina, so I don't want to overreact, but the way that Clint Kubiak used all of those different pieces. I mean, they threw a touchdown pass to Jawan Johnson with Rashid Shaheed and Alvin Kamara in the backfield, right? Like, that was a touchdown pass to a tight end. Taysom Hill ran the ball. He was all over the place I like that Jamal Williams got a touchdown. I love the way that Clint Kubiak used all of his pieces. Kamara got a bunch of touches in all different spots. And the offensive line played better than I expected. Penning was a mauler. Fuaga looks like one of the best first-round picks you're going to find. I don't know. Again, Carolina, temper the expectations, but I really liked what I saw out of New Orleans in week 1. All right, time for our wild card picks, and we've got 5 of them, and we need to start hustling because we're already getting close to Rodgers ready to hit me over the head with something. So fire away, Moody.
Sure, I'll be quick here. My first one is my favorite play of the week. It's the New York Giants and the Washington Redskins. I refuse to call them the Commanders, the Washington Redskins. Over 43. It was at 43.5 whenever I saw it earlier. It looks like it's at 43 right now. I just think Washington's defense is terrible. The Giants' defense is terrible. I don't like Daniel Jones at all, but if he's going to have a good game this entire season, it better be this week. I like the over in this game. Jaden Daniels looked great with his legs. I think the passing game will be better this week for Washington. Giants and Washington over 43.
All right, I'll take an over as well. I'm going to go way into the ether for this one, Moody. We're going Jacksonville State and Eastern Michigan. Jacksonville State, that Rich Rod offense, it's weird. It's hard to defend, especially on 1 week, to try to figure it out. Eastern Michigan's put up some points, so it's 54. That's a lot of points, but I think this game will be in the 30s for both teams. So give me Jacksonville State at Eastern Michigan over 54.
Next up for me, I'm going under in the Pittsburgh and Denver game. Denver's offense looked awful in week 1. I thought Bo Nix was going to be better. He wasn't. He'll probably bite me in my butt this week and show up and play good football. But I like the under in this game. It's at 36.5. It opened up at 40.5, by the way. It's all the way down to 36.5 pretty quickly, and I understand why it's moving. I still like it at under 36.5. I think we're looking at a just defensive slobber knocker here.
All right. I will Moody, I'm going to pick an NFL game this week.
Okay. All right.
Tell me why I should have any faith in Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons. He looked like he was 91 years old out there trying to throw the football, trying to come back off an Achilles. Didn't look good. Eagles look fantastic. Saquon Barkley looks like the missing piece for those guys. Eagles are less than a touchdown favorite over the Falcons at home in Philly. Yeah, give me Eagles -6.5 against the Falcons.
Okay, see, excuse me. I saw it at 7 earlier.
Okay.
So I like it. I love it at 6.5. I'm right there with you. I almost took this game, but I stayed away from it because it was a touchdown when I first looked at it.
Let me look real quick again.
You got a really good pick there.
It is still 6.5 according to CBS. So.
Okay. I think at 6.5, you got a really good line right there.
Thanks,
yeah,
man.
I like
Appreciate that.
I'll enjoy that loss.
Yeah. Next up for me, I'm going to Arizona and the Los Angeles Rams over 47.5. I mean, Matt Stafford looked really, really good last week. He's going to be without Puka Nacua this week, which is fine. They've got Tyler Johnson. I think he's going to step up and play well. Arizona's offense looked good against Buffalo. Their defense looked terrible against Buffalo. That's exactly what I want to see when I'm trying to bet an over. Give me Arizona, Los Angeles over 47.5.
By the way, I wanted to pick one an NFL game this week, and I almost picked Rams and Cardinals over 47.5. So that was
it's a good bet. It really is.
I was right there on it. Speaking of overs, let me take Alabama and Wisconsin. These are not your father's Alabama and Wisconsin teams. These are both offensive-minded coaches coaching Alabama and Wisconsin. The over-under is only 49.5. Look, I know Alabama can still play good defense. I know Wisconsin can still play good defense, but these are two offensive coaches with good offensive players. Kalen DeBoer and can't think of his name that was at Cincinnati that's now at Wisconsin. Give me Alabama at Wisconsin over 49.5. I think this game may be 38-20 before it's all said and done.
Next up for me, I am going to continue to fade the Carolina Panthers. They're at home this week against the Chargers. Give me the Chargers -5. I just didn't see anything from Carolina last week that suggests they can beat anyone. So I don't love this necessarily because I don't know. I don't love it, but I do like it enough to take it. Give me Chargers -5 on the road.
I almost took that one as well. That was one that I definitely had interest in. Week 2 just worries
me
a pure
in the
fade. NFL. Yeah, week 2 is so scary. Like they talk in college about how the biggest jump comes from week 1 to week 2. It's bigger in the NFL. Like what we think we know in week 1, we turn around in week 2, and I guarantee you we don't know at all.
This is always one of the weirdest betting weeks in the NFL the entire season.
Yes.
Could not agree more.
Yes. All right, I'm going to go Arkansas UAB. Bobby Petrino they're putting up points in Arkansas. UAB just lost to ULM of all schools. It's 23.5. I think Arkansas wins by 40. Like, I think Arkansas just blows the doors off of UAB. I love what Bobby Petrino's doing. So, yeah, give me Arkansas -23. And I normally would not take a 20-point favorite in a game, but Arkansas -23.5 against UAB, I think, feels pretty good.
My final game of the week, I'm going Jets-Titans under 41.5. I like the Jets to win this game. 3.5. If it was 3, 2.5, I'm definitely on it. 3.5 is a little too much for me. I just think it's going to be a lower scoring game. I don't see either one of these offenses breaking out. I do think the Jets win the game. They win it with their defense. Give me Jets-Titans under 41.5 for my final play of the week.
Under 41.5. And mine, Moody, my boy let me down last week. Lance Leipold in Kansas went to Illinois and had the lead, and were looking to really break away and just didn't get it done. Brett Bielema getting a big win for the Illini. I think Kansas is full of revenge this week. They're only a 9-point favorite against UNLV, who's playing really well, by the way. The game's in Lawrence, although it will actually technically be in Kansas City. They'll play that at Arrowhead. I think Kansas bounced back. I think they bounced back in a big way. I think this is one of those, you got a little too big for your britches, and now your coach gets to jerk you up a little bit and kind of tell you, hey, remember, you're not handed anything. You still got to go out and earn it, and I think this is one of those go out and earn it games. So give me Kansas -9 against UNLV. So let's recap. Moody's got a lot of over-unders this week. He's got Giants-Commanders over 43, Steelers-Broncos under 36.5, Rams-Cardinals over 47.5, Jets-Titans under 41.5, and Chargers -5 at the Panthers. We both agree on South Carolina +6 against LSU. He's got Cowboys -6 against the Saints. I've got Saints +6 at the Cowboys. I've got Jacksonville State at Eastern Michigan over 54. Alabama at Wisconsin over 49.5. Kansas -9 against UNLV. Arkansas -23.5 against UAB. And I've got Eagles -6.5 against the Falcons in the NFL. Moody, as always, my friend, an absolute blast. Have a tremendous weekend, boy.
All right, boys. Y'all be well.
All right. That's Tyler Moody for Patrick's Picks and Moody's Moneymakers. as always, ride with Moody, fade me. It's usually your best recipe for success. If you've been doing that so far, you would be 15, 12, and 1 right now. So it's not a bad plan. All right, I'll have those posted online here in just a little bit for you to check out, and if you want to do anything with them. We'll take a break, come back, and wrap this bad boy up. It's the Patrick Netherton Show, 1130 The Tiger, 103.3 FM, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We'll be back.
Participants of this program are not employees of this station, and their views, opinions, and claims do not necessarily represent those of Town Square Media, its employees, or advertisers.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams 4-day super sale and get 40% off paints and stains from September 13th through the 16th. With prices starting at $29.39, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
It's common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain weight easier. There's a way to feel better, not in years or months, but sometimes in just days.
I'm Chuck Norris. I tried everything. Working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code SUPPORT, or text SUPPORT to 511-511 and claim 40% off. Roundhouseprovisions.com, code SUPPORT.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You could be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text SUPPORT to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Piney Park's Fall Festival and Spooky Trail is family fun at every turn, and SeizeTheDeal.com has your half-price tickets. Stroll through our family-friendly Spooky Trail. Pick out your favorite pumpkin from the pumpkin patch. Dine on eats and sweets at the food trucks, and enjoy jumbo jumpers, barrel train rides, Piney Peak slides, shooting cannons, a game area, and more. Get your half-price tickets now at SeizeTheDeal.com and fall into fun at Piney Park Fall Festival and Spooky Trail, where autumn adventures await.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence dyne test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt?
I owe the IRS $37,000.
Get ready for a toll-free hotline. Take advantage of new IRS tax forgiveness programs that may protect you from IRS collection agencies. They have the power to garnish your wages, put liens on your property, and levy your bank account. Civic Tax Relief can help protect you from the IRS.
Civic Tax Relief basically represented me against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, I didn't owe the IRS anything.
Find out about the Fresh Start program that is now available through Civic Tax Relief. Civic Tax Relief's special tax hotline can help you discover all the relief programs available for free.
I would recommend anyone who has a tax problem to contact Civic Tax Relief.
Just call 800-409-8555. 800-409-8555. Don't wait. Call now. 800-409-8555. 800-409-8555.
Get down to business. Tell everyone nothing's off limits. You can have anything you want.
Anything you want with Bobby L. Greene Plumbing, now offering heating and air conditioning too. The Greene team for the best plumbing, heating, air, get it all. One team, 3 generations of local service. Bobby L. Greene, your home team, 6310235. We have it all.
You've heard a lot of remarkable things about the Pearl Restaurant, located at Fern and 70th. In addition to the incredible food and drinks, the Pearl is now open for dinner 7 days a week, plus lunch or brunch on the weekends. The bar opens at 3, the restaurant opens at 4 Monday through Thursday, and it opens at 11 a.m. all weekend long. Amazing Louisiana-style food with flavor profiles unlike anything you'll find in the state. A 47-foot bar serving signature cocktails, spirits, wine, and beer, an unrivaled selection of both raw and cooked oysters. Plus, the Pearl is serving up amazing old-school favorites like burgers and certified Angus steaks, dry-aged and rubbed in their special pearl dust. Both the burgers and steaks are Rogers Hampton approved, which is the most prestigious award that a food can receive. The Pearl Restaurant, 6871 Fern Avenue, right off East 70th. Whether you want an amazing lunch on the weekend or an elegant dinner any day of the week, the Pearl has you covered. Let them treat you right at the Pearl.
Restore me, refuel me, rejuvenate me. RejuveMeMedical.com.
Tiger weather now.
Tropical depression Francine headed to central and northern Mississippi tonight and moving on up into West Tennessee for Friday. We're on the west circulation, north breeze, mostly cloudy and mid-60s for tonight. Northwest winds tomorrow, sunshine, 90 degrees and low 90s for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore at the Weather Channel.
The previous program was paid for by Tim Fletcher. KWKH and K277DO Shreveport, 103.3 FM and 1130 The Tiger. Your home for LSU sports, a Town Square Media station.
Welcome back to the Patrick Netherton Show.
You know what we're doing. Oh, yeah. Oh. Patrick Netherton Show, 1130 The Tiger, 103.3 FM, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or X. We are streaming in those 3 locations. We're on the app all over the place. Our show brought to you by Bobby L. Greene Plumbing, 631-0235, 631-0235. By the way, they're available 24 hours a day, so if something happens on Saturday, Sunday, they've got a 24-hour line that you can call, and they will take care of you. So just note that. If you have some emergency that goes down on the weekend, give them a shout. They will answer the phone, and they will get someone out to help you. That is what they do at Bobby L. Greene Plumbing. 631-0235 or greeneplumbing.com, Greene plumbing.com. A terrific organization, over 60 years in the business. They are just simply the best, and we highly encourage you to find them for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. And you'll need some cooling. Temps back up in the 90s. I went outside earlier. It's getting hot again. Not pleasant. But we're going to be in the 90s for a bit here. All right, that's it for the week. Trey earlier, Rush. Yeah. Yep. Hambone definitely plays that Rush. Hambone, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, my friend. Y'all be good, be safe. Be careful out there. There he is. Hey, boy. Rogers Hampton. The man who says, hey, boy, after just about everything he says. Big thanks to Tyler Moody for joining us via the Pearl Shreveport hotline. And big thanks to Kim Mulkey, head coach of LSU women's basketball, for joining us also via the Pearl Shreveport hotline. Good folks, and really excited that Michaela Williams is coming back to Shreveport, Bossier. She's going to be over at the Century, now the Brookshire's Grocery Arena, over on there against Grambling on December the 8th. Tickets are on sale now, so make sure that you go get those tickets and see Michaela Williams. All right. Dang, another coughing fit got me ham bone. Luckily, we're ending the show, so I can get out of here and rest my voice for the weekend. Exactly. Yeah, coughing fit hit me. Almost, I'd say I'm 97, 98% at this point. Almost completely over this cold, but it has lingered a bit. Hey, don't forget, it is a little warm outside. Please be safe and careful. Stay hydrated. Stay in the shade. Stay inside if you can. Be careful if you can't. Drink plenty of fluids. Take it easy. Take breaks. We want everyone to come out of the weekend okay. We'll be back on Monday from 1 to 3. We'll recap Patrick's picks and Moody's Moneymakers, and we'll give you the winner of the Pearl Upset Special. Get those picks in on the Bobby L. Greene Plumbing text line, 318-657-0HAM, 318-657-0426. For Rogers, I'm Patrick. Y'all be safe and careful out there, everyone. We'll see you back here on Monday from 1 to 3 on the Patrick Netherton Show.